Now, look, you're critical of the Trusted Digital Identity Framework, which is a very specific federal government initiative. It's the federal government's way to ensure proof of identity across its websites. Now, Alexandra, this protects us against fraud and identity theft. So what's wrong with that?
Well, the first thing is it doesn't protect anybody against fraud or identity theft. One of the most hacked systems in the world is a government system. So basically we call it a crown jewel scenario where the government, the least protected entity, is now accumulating all your data to make it really, it's like a shopping mall for identity theft. It's not a good idea. But the digital identity is actually a World Economic Forum concept. It was developed at Davos and it's been exported to the Western nations of the world. And even in the Australian version, they've actually copied and pasted all the references from the WEF. So it's not a homegrown idea, it is an international idea and it's supposed to link into a global system. Now what it does is basically means that the state has absolute control and knowledge over every transaction, every part of your life. So it links together your private medical records with all of your consumer data, your social media data and your banking data, and it starts to collate this and judge the value of you as an entire person. The best way to describe it is a precursor to the Chinese social credit system. That is what it is. And so they say it's about convenience and solving technical server issues, but there are lots of ways to solve server issues without instituting a Chinese social credit system over the state. And as someone who used to be a software designer, I can tell you that you don't need global socialism to fix software problems.
It's funny that you describe these systems in this way. Whenever I use MyGov or any of those things, I'm usually beguiled by the impression that it's all very convenient and that the government's doing it for my convenience. But you're saying there's ulterior motives here, aren't you?
Well, it's not just that. It changes the relationship between the government and the citizen. So currently, right now, you have things like MyGov. There are special privacy protections, which means that although you can see certain things, the different sections of government are actually separated. So the tax office can't see this department and this department can't see that one. They are separated. What the digital identity does is roll back all those privacy protections on the citizen and collates everything so that the government can now see everything in your private, social and digital life. Now that is a fundamental change to the state's behaviour with its citizen. And once it has that knowledge, it can then use it. And don't be surprised if as soon as they know what your purchasing is, they're going to start to try and manipulate that. And the banks are already all in and the insurance companies are there. They want to start using this government collected data to, charge you more or to deny you bank loans if you're a climate denier or all matter of things.
Well, on top of that, they can actually sell the data. Is that correct?
Yes, so the digital identity allows third parties to access your previously private government-held data. Now, that has never been done in Australia before. So the government has strict regulations on who can see your data and what they can do with it. And now they can collect whatever they want and interact with third-party systems, some of which are not even in Australia, which used to be prohibited, and on-sell your data.